Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. Super pumped sitting here with Martin today. Martin is a long-term friend of mine. We have been in the military service together many years ago, so good old times. And since then he has gone a long way into becoming a fitness coach, owner of Gym Performance, which always has been super inspiring to me. Actually, you inspired me to start calisthenics when I was doing bodybuilding.
Good to hear that. Awesome.
Many years ago. So yeah, it's super cool to have you on. But don't want to take too much away. Let Martin introduce himself. Martin, tell us about you and what you're doing today, how you got to where you be, and all that good stuff.
So first and foremost, thanks for having me on the podcast. Super pumped to be here.
It's a pleasure, man.
Although I'm a bit nervous. I told him before because I'm not used to doing podcasts, but here we go. So my name is Martin. I'm the owner of Gym Performance. I'm a fitness enthusiast. I'm a father of a 2-year-old and I'm an online fitness coach. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to talk a little bit about fitness and about your concepts of training and nutrition. But first, before we get into it, how did it all grow, your business from you have been doing informatics before and then you switched over. How was that transition? How did you get into that?
So it goes a long, long way back. I think when we met, it was 8 years ago or so.
Must be
almost 10. So the thing is, I got into fitness at age 16, I believe, and I just joined a local gym, started working out, wanted to get more muscles and stuff because I was super skinny, right? So this is what I did.
Same story, right?
And obviously, it's always in the end, it's insecurity that drives us to the gym, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I did. Went to the gym. Had no idea what I did at the time, but I loved it from the very first second. So I got hooked. Literally, I had no idea about nutrition, but I already worked out 5 times a week. So obviously didn't grow or didn't do anything, but I was just obsessed from the very beginning. So I did just all different training methods. I tried out different diets, had experienced already a bit what is working and what not. At this time, I was working in IT. After that, I wanted to go abroad. So my decision was Santa Monica. As you know, there's the Muscle Beach, so a mecca of bodybuilding, but also a lot of people who work out at the beach. So I go there with the goal actually of learning English. What I did is probably 3 or 4 hours a day just working out. So I went to school, I went to Gold's Gym to work out with the big guys. I ran into The Rock, I ran into 50 Cent and all this
that's super cool.
Yeah, inspirational dudes. After that, so I did some weight training. After that, I went to the beach and continued just working out. So I did calisthenics. This is where I got introduced to it. For those who don't know what it is, just training with your own body weight. And obviously there in Santa Monica, there's a lot of people who are into fitness. It's really it's huge fitness.
Yeah.
Everyone
it's called Muscle Beach for a reason.
Yeah. And obviously there is a lot of personal trainers, a lot of yogis, a lot of, just people who work in the fitness space. And I found it super cool. I wanted, to do something similar. I got so inspired from those people. So I said, it was 2014 at the time. I said, I want to do my own blog. So I called it into my life, wrote blogs, wrote down my programs. I remember one was 100 pull-ups, different kind of pull-ups, blah, blah, blah. And obviously nobody read it because I was nobody, but I wrote my blog.
That's how we all start, right?
Yeah. So after I think 7 months, I came back to Switzerland and I missed the beach because at the beach we used to work out, the sun was out, there's the rings at the beach, the parallel bars where I learned the handstand and everything. Also the iron cross.
Yeah, you could do it.
It's advanced gymnastics.
I never managed to get
very
that.
Proud of that because usually, just
it's so hard.
Do that.
Yeah.
So I'm back in Switzerland and I didn't want to go back to a regular gym because I was into calisthenics. So I joined CrossFit and there I ran into you
Again?
I knew you already from the army, and I saw you there. So yeah, we worked out in the same gym. That's a little bit
I
of
think
our
it was
story.
there. Yeah, I saw the videos of you when I was living in Portugal. Actually, I don't know. You were in Muscle Beach and then already back at Limitless Power at that point. And I was like, I want to do that shit too. That looks cool, you know.
Yeah,
and then
pretty cool.
I hopped onto the rings, and I mean I was just like doing the bodybuilding stuff until then. I'm like, I couldn't do a muscle up. I felt like shit.
Because it looks so cool, right?
It looks so easy. I'm like, I'm strong. I've been working out a while and I couldn't do it. And I'm like, I gotta train it. So
yeah,
you hooked me.
I was super lucky. I had like professional gymnasts there in Santa Monica who worked out with me and showed me how to do stuff, right? So that's pretty cool. But I was the same way. I thought, man, I'm training so much, lifting so much weight, and now I cannot even do like or whatever. That sucks. But anyway, I was there in Limitless Power, worked out with my own body weight, and obviously there are other people who were into CrossFit or just working out, and they were impressed. They asked me, man, how do you do it? Probably you were one of them to teach me those skills, right?
Exactly.
How do you do it? And this is where it all started, I guess. Like until this point, I just did it all for me, and I was just obsessed with performance and how to get better. And I think this is the same year I probably also gave advice to other people because they were interested, and I didn't know much about coaching, so I just said, oh, this is what I'm doing, you can try it. I don't know whether it works or not, right? This is what I do, try it out. And for some reason other people had success with it, so
it was pretty good.
Yeah, basically copy what I did, and yeah, they had success, got leaner, fitter, could do the skills. And everything else from there is history. So it's now 7 years ago, right? And I just did it as a side hustle for many years. And I think it was only last year when COVID hit. No, it was actually a little bit before. So as you know, I'm a father today.
Yeah.
My daughter is half Swiss, half Brazilian. So this is a bit of a different story, but my girlfriend, my fiance is Brazilian. We met in Australia. So sorry for the twist now, but I have to explain this.
Okay.
So we met in Australia. She visited me in Switzerland. I visited her in Brazil. Some months later, I got the call, said, okay, there's something on the way. What now, right? And as you can imagine, I was lost because I had friends here, family here, my job here. What now? I had to make a decision, and it was super chaotic, right? I had to make a decision within a few months. Brainstormed, had really, really hard time to process it in the beginning because obviously it was not planned. But then
it was kind of shock, probably.
Yeah, for me it was always, no matter what the decision will be, I want to be close to my family,
of course,
to my daughter, to Gabriela. So I ended up going to Brazil. So I left everything behind. I went there.
Which I thought is super cool, you know. That's when I was like, damn, these two know what he's doing.
A goal of mine was always like working abroad, right?
Yeah.
And this was like basically because of my daughter, I could do that. So I think it's fantastic. But anyway, so I got to Brazil at this time. I had still a 9-to-5 job in an agency, and I could do this job online. So even in Brazil, they allowed me to work there for a Swiss company.
You were kind of doing home office already before the pandemic.
3 years ago, I already did home office, so that's pretty cool. But I also knew that maybe this is not the most secure job, because now I'm on the other side of the world. Maybe they find someone who could replace me. I didn't know.
It's local.
I just didn't know. We had also. I didn't know, and also the agent didn't know how it's going to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said, I need to find something that, if we decided to live there in Brazil for the rest of our lives, I need to have an income, right? And you know, the economy in Brazil, it's terrible. Terrible. You cannot find a job. When you find one, salary is miserable. Not good at all. So online coaching. I already had a little bit of a side. I have my side business with an income. So that okay, I'm going just to all in with this business and trying to scale it up. And this is what I did. And it's super freaking hard because I had my 9 to 5, a newborn, and I wanted to scale my business. So
you had a lot to do at the same time.
It was like such a hard time to balance. Well, there was no balance. Let's say. I also wanted to go to the gym and work out for myself, right? So and a little sleep didn't make it any better from the baby waking me up.
There is so many things that I want to get into for the podcast that basically all come from that. But one thing I had written down that I wanted to ask you is, for me from the outside, it really seemed like from the point you've become a father, your business kind of exploded and you really got into online coaching. Do you think that's because you suddenly had a special niche and you made an experience that you could share? Or was it more because you were like, okay, I'm just going all in on that, or a combination? How do you think that has influenced the growth of your coaching business?
So I think what happened is I knew I will become a father. I know I'm going to be to live in a different country. And this made me grow. You know, like not physically because I'm still super small, but
your arms are big.
Mentally, it was such a big decision. It was time to take like ownership, to just like be there for, just responsible for what I did, be there for my little one, for my girlfriend at the time. And out of a sudden, if you become father, something in your mind, it just changes. You're no longer just independent, can do whatever you want and free and so much free time and whatnot. All of a sudden you feel responsible. You need to provide. And I think my parents said the same way. They felt like when I become a parent, I grew so much, like in terms of age. Out of a sudden, I'm an old man almost. Right?
Suddenly you're like a grown man.
almost
not
like
a kid anymore.
Out of a sudden, I'm a wise person. No, you just look at the world and things completely different than before, right? So, what made this entire thing do to me is I actually hired a business coach and said, okay. I want to grow it. I need some help, because if my clients, they want to reach a certain goal, they hire me and I can help them. Now I have a goal, I need someone to help me too. Only makes sense. I believe in coaches. If I wouldn't believe in coaches, then I couldn't do my job. Right?
Yeah.
So I hired a business coach that would help me out to scale my business. And the first experience was not that well. So probably, I don't want to speak against anyone because it is huge actually in the fitness space.
I mean, don't say the names.
No, the thing is, maybe because I had a full-time job and a baby and I wanted to scale, probably I couldn't put enough time into it to really grow the business. So I stopped the program, said, no, sorry, it's not working for me. But I already changed some things. No, I already did some, from this coaching program, I already posted more, I was more active, I already was more present on social media. And even 2 months later, I said, okay, now I'm having more, like there's more interest, like people seeing me on social media, and there are some requests about like helping me reaching their fitness goal. So I knew something, it's actually working. Maybe I was just not dedicated enough, maybe
you didn't give it enough time.
Yeah, something like that. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try it again, this time with another coach. And that's what I did. And this time, like it just went all in. I said, okay, I'm going to dedicate every 3 minutes to that. I'm going to do whatever he says. And this is my top priority, obviously next to family. And pretty quick, I had to tell the agency I worked for that I need to reduce the days I work for them. just like 2 months later, I again contact them and say, sorry, it's not working. I have such a heavy workload, which is a good sign.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it shows you what's working, right?
It's working, right? And yeah, very quickly, actually now during quarantine as well, I think quarantine also contributes to the success because local businesses are not working
They're
anymore.
shut down, yeah.
And some people didn't go online. On the other hand, you could also see like there's out of a sudden so many online coaches. So I can see both sides, right?
Yeah.
The local businesses are shut down, no local gym, no CrossFit, no group classes. On the other hand, there's so many not so educated people who are out of a sudden fitness coaches provide their
it's
fitness
a huge
programs.
problem, right?
So yeah, I had to stand out somehow, and I was the first time really, really confident because I had a story to tell.
Yeah.
As you know, if it's just nutrition, if it's just training,
it's just boring, right? For
it's,
people.
It's very dry. And you can't, let's be honest, you can find everything on the internet. YouTube is there, you can Google it, you can find everything. But in the end, there's also so many things to tell, to do a thing in a certain way, contradicting at times, right?
Yeah.
This diet. Well, so you need to,
they're all fighting each other.
Yeah, you need to trust someone. You need to have someone. And since I'm a dad now and I have a story that people also find inspiring, they can resonate to me. I think, look, I'm now a father. I also have like these problems with time. I also know how it is to get woken up at nights, like every 2 hours. I know how it is feeling, that you don't have time to work out. Yet here I am with a family, with a 9 to 5, with a business, and I'm still in.
Well, you're looking better than ever. Honestly.
So I had certainly adjust my methods, and I think let's go into it. Because
I mean that's what I wanted to talk about. It's a good segue because I was like, damn, the dude is obviously putting less time in now because he can't. But he looks better than ever now. Like when I see your picture on Instagram and on Facebook, like you're so clean, you're so buffed. So I mean, super cool. So how has your training changed after you have become a dad? Because obviously you had to put less time in. So you probably had to be better in prioritizing, right?
Yeah.
So what are your top priorities in training?
So training is, I think what has actually more changed is nutrition part.
Okay.
Because maybe even when we met or when I was so almost obsessed with fitness,
you were counting calories.
Counting calories. I knew my macros. I was very strict. Never had sugar for years. Sugar
crazy, right?
For years. Cheat meals, no, I didn't need it. I also had no
desire.
No desire for that. I didn't know how.
If you have a goal and if you want something,
I didn't know how chocolate tastes, to be honest. So I didn't want
crazy,
it.
Man.
It's crazy, right? So out of a sudden,
that was not feasible anymore, I guess.
I have a bit of a sad story about this because the first time when I was in the first few weeks when I was a dad, I had a binge attack I never had before. It was at night, baby was crying, I was just so stressed out, and the next day I need to be at work. I was so stressed out, so I went to the kitchen and just ate everything I could find, and it was so crazy. Literally in Brazil it's extreme because we were living at my mother-in-law's house. There's so much cookies and
so you were eating sweets, sadly.
Everything I could find, and I thought I need to eat everything, and it was
it's crazy.
The unhealthiest thing ever. Probably,
Did you throw up?
Why. I didn't throw up. I think once I did.
I mean, if you never eat sugar and then you eat so much sugar, you must have feel terribly sick.
No, once I had maybe 3 of these cravings in total, so it's not to the point where I had
not like a sickness, but just the first time you were eating so much, you must have feel
it was
sick after
I couldn't sleep obviously because you're so full and so bloated. So it was a terrible feeling, and but it made me realize what parents go through, what it means to have so much on you, so much pressure somehow, and also how it feels to actually binge. Like oftentimes people will tell me they have to, and I could just not relate. What is like binge? What sugar? Why should you want sugar?
Yeah,
Because why? I don't get it.
Yeah.
This binge attacks, obviously it happened only 3 times when I was super stressed out, but it was constant is my sugar intake. Like, and during the weekends in Brazil, it's like huge. There's family gatherings, all go together, and
cakes.
have a lot of cake.
Yeah.
And all day long, it's not only 1 hour lunch. The entire day, there's like some sweets. You just go there, and obviously, what they do, especially couldn't speak Portuguese very well. So what do you do when you feel uncomfortable, a bit anxious, and then you just eat in hope it makes me feel better, right?
Yeah.
So,
did you gain weight?
Yeah, again, even overall in Brazil, it's quite a lot of, I think almost 10 kilograms.
But I mean, it's muscle if I look at you now.
It's actually good because, I was also, if I look back a long time, it was just like, I wanted to have a 6-pack. And I had it all the time. If you look at my pictures, like since 2013, every year, 6 packs, it's like constant, right?
Yeah.
And the first time now, probably ate way too much, but I could see, okay, it's actually turning into muscle if I still work out, right?
Okay.
So
you kept the 6-pack?
I think, like not as defined. There's always like I didn't have this huge yo-yo effect, but I certainly, for my standards, I could see shit. I lost my 6-pack. Right?
I have that right now, actually, right in that moment.
Yeah. for other people, and everything. If I ask my fiance, no, you're having perfect 6-pack, but I'm saying no, for my standards, right now, because I had again transition phase. We just came from Brazil to Switzerland. Obviously, first few weeks, you want to try all the foods here, and like, I don't know.
And everyone is cooking for you.
Yeah,
and like
exactly. And we're living
parents, grandparents.
House right now, so I'm just eating whatever.
Yeah.
But I can see for my standards, it's not as defined for other people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I knew this. Every weekend I'm going to have probably some sweets, and I could be super strict. I tried it at first and said, man, no, I don't. I also want to participate. I want to have their piece of cake. Literally, I want to have some sweets and celebrate. But that means I probably cannot or shouldn't eat like 400 grams of carbs every single day, the other days. So if I know I'm going to have very high carbs on the weekends, maybe I need to adjust during the week, because as we all know, you can compensate. You can eat one day a little bit more, the other day a little bit less. So my approach was then more on a low carb approach during the week, and then a bit higher throughout the weekends.
And you did it by feeling. You stopped counting calories.
Absolutely, because I know counting calories, that works, but especially as a father, I don't. I ask myself, do I want to live this lifestyle for the rest of my life? Prepping all my foods, not eating out a lot, counting calories. No, let's be honest, I don't want to do this, even though it works. It's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I came up with what I call diet templates. Created one for me. It's the same that I do for my clients. And it's a very simple protocol that says, okay, we have, for example, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and depending on your goal. So let me make an example. We have a client a fat loss client. There might be lunch, protein, vegetable, and carbohydrates. He goes to the list. I give them like a list. I also can use to my groceries. On the list, you find just the various protein sources, various carbohydrate sources.
It's like chicken, tuna, written there, right?
And it's so easy. I tell them, you need to print it out, take it with you, whether you're on the go or in the restaurant, check the menu. And obviously you need a little bit of understanding. It takes a bit, because you need to know what is a carbohydrate, what is a protein. That's what I teach also, obviously,
of course.
To my clients. But this is so easy to implement, and you don't need to bring all your Tupperwares all the time, right? And
the amount, so let's say we have that client at lunch, it's written he's eating protein, carbohydrate, and veggie. So he would decide to go for chicken, potatoes, and tomatoes, for example, whatever.
Absolutely.
Then, but how much he eats of it,
good
he
question.
can choose, or how did you do it for yourself, and how do you tell it clients?
So I actually put amount of grams, because there is, I think, maybe 2 out of 25 clients, there is those who want to track it, so they're on the safe side. They can do it if they want. But what I also do is I integrate some plate templates. So how their plate should look like. So they see, okay, half of it should actually be vegetable, just a quarter should be maybe carbohydrates, and the rest protein, something like that.
Okay.
So this way you can go in a restaurant, because in a restaurant you won't take your scale and put your food in it, right?
Would look pretty weird.
Yeah, no, full transparency here. I haven't measured anything in 3 years.
Okay.
Nothing. I even didn't have a scale in present, so yeah.
I mean, I never measured. I couldn't say I never measured. I did it for like 4 weeks. And then I was like, fuck that. That's too much work for me. I don't like it.
I mean, it works. It certainly works. And if you want to compete in bodybuilding, sure, so it's probably the way to go.
You have to,
You
right?
have to almost.
But for us that live like a quote unquote normal life,
exactly.
I think it's not the most sustainable way, right?
Exactly. It's probably the extreme, right? And I almost see like the different levels of how, let's put it this way, like how much you're into fitness or how important it is to you. And most of the people are like, let's say level 1. So they just need to move more, they need to work out frequently 2-3 times a week, they need to eat better, make better choices. Then there's the ones who will be the more aggressive, want to really look good at the beach body. They might need to cut certain foods or go in deficit, whatever. And then there's the obsessed ones that count calories and everything. They use it almost as a religion, right? And I was like that. I was at this level 3, and I went back actually. I said, okay, this is like 4 hours of like during the weekend, for example, Saturday, Sunday. I remember Limitless. I was there at least 4 hours a day, probably.
Yeah.
Like training, working out, and everything diet on point. Never any junk food. And then I actually went back and said, okay, I cannot do and don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I go back to, let's say, level 2 or even level 1, where I say, okay, I need just to work out, follow the very basics. And this is also what I want to teach my clients, because I'm not the person when it comes to someone wants to compete in bodybuilding or like hardcore dieting. I might be not the best coach, because I never competed myself, so I don't know exactly. I know how it feels if you have like super low calories and if you're shredded. I know.
You competed at the beach.
It looks like shit. I know that. So, but I don't want to teach anyone to go through this, because it's in the end it's not healthy, right?
So, and that's basically all the changes you did to the nutrition. You just started to incorporate like sweets in a healthy way. So let's say that you can be like, I need to enjoy it like the way most people should probably do it. And you stopped counting calories. And somehow did that help you to improve your results?
So training wise, I also made some adjustments, obviously, because COVID hit, gyms closed. And then I knew when I cannot work out, I don't need that much energy. Looking back though, I almost always could find a way to work out, most of the time, even in the gym, because, Brazil, corruption and stuff. You pay someone and you go to the back door.
Yeah, and the lockdown was super short there anyway, no?
Right now it's tough. Right now everything is closed.
Again?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes. Brutal. But I knew the gym owners, and so I could work out still. Yeah. But obviously what changed is so one reason is family. The other one, my business took a lot of time. So I went in with a plan. Maybe even my warm-up was shorter. I didn't do a lot of cardio in the end. It's just like I go in, do my things, my quick workout, 45 minutes, and go back home to support my family or work on my business or whatever. So I was just like, I had my plan. I went in there. It was actually good. I didn't know a lot of people, because as you know, it's often blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I just went in, did the workout, and went back home.
So you had to eat less, I guess, overall.
I think overall, probably less. Yeah. Yeah, at least because I remember even now I'm coming back. Right now I'm living at my parents' house, and my mom remembers from earlier. She would buy or she would buy for me the groceries, and there's like so many sweet potatoes, so much rice. And she was waiting for me here. Like, so I bought everything you need. I said, oh, maybe I'm not doing this anymore. Like, do I need all of this? Like, it's crazy. So I'm still eating a lot for a normal human because I think just because of the energy.
I mean, you have a lot of lean body mass as well.
Yeah. But I don't aim for, let's say, 450 grams of carbohydrates every single day. It could be that I reach this, especially when we go out or take away now, because go out is a bit different. But then other days I'm fairly low, just in the morning, some carbohydrates, and then keep it relatively low.
So you're kind of cycling carbs off during the week.
Absolutely.
And on the week.
Also it depends, obviously, because as you know, you cannot just tell someone, oh, you need to reduce your carbs, or because you need to know the goal, obviously.
Yeah.
So when I do this diet templates for my clients, there is those where they maybe have some carbohydrates in the morning and then in the evening some chocolate because they crave chocolate, and that works perfectly fine. Everything in moderation. And then there's other ones who want to gain weight, and they have obviously all the times carbohydrates because they use it, right? So it really depends. But for me, I have to be honest. As said, right now it's probably my diet is not 100% dialed in because just like some other things that I need to sort out, trying to follow just the basic rules. I'm having my diet template, but now, I mean, summer is just around the corner, so I will hopefully reduce like my
so you want to cut a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then, let's get a little bit more into the training, because, I mean, I can tell from my own experience, when I was 4 hours at the gym, I could do everything, you know, I had the time, so I'll do some heavy compound lifts, and then I do some whatever, like hypertrophy work. I can do some metcons, maybe multiple ones, you know, like it's just and I can even practice some calisthenics, and I had enough time, you know. It's like you're 4 hours there, you can do everything that you want. Absolutely. And then when you try to compose it down to 45 minutes, then that's what I wanted to ask in the beginning. You have to prioritize. So how do you, or what do you prioritize? What do you think is like the most important thing to do when you want to achieve your goals within 45 minutes?
So how my gym sessions look like, or my home gym sessions, I work usually right here where I do the podcast, is most of the time main lift. So it's either like a squat, deadlift. I also consider like a dip, weighted dip, for example.
Or a barbell row,
or something like that. Exactly, as compound. And then I either do a circle training when I'm short on time, or then just like a traditional, let's say, bodybuilding training, where I would hit, for example, back and biceps. Next day, let's say
3x10 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Relatively, the resting time is relatively low. I just go through it because I know it's working. I know it's what my body uses to keep the muscle mass. And then in Brazil, what I often did, so in comparison to earlier, I would maybe warm up for half an hour, then I would do my workout, then I would go on a treadmill, then I would stretch. You don't see me on a treadmill, never anymore. So
don't have time.
I just go out for walks throughout the day. Early in the morning I do one, then I go out most of the time before lunch. I go out in the afternoon with my little one, so I can combine quality time and being effective. And the same I did with like home workouts, because if I go to the gym, I need to leave my baby girl at home and my girlfriend at home, and maybe she also needs a break because I cannot support her when I'm at work or whatever. So I just did like short and intense bodyweight workouts at home. And by the way, many of them I recorded. They are on my YouTube channel, and you can see like my daughter, she's just mimicking me and tries to do the stuff. And for me, it was such a good feeling. Like, it's my passion. I love working out. So I had actually two reasons. I knew it's just good for me. It's something different. Like, I do just 10 minutes workouts with burpees and like body weight squats and stuff, push-ups. And then also that I can see that my daughter also has pleasure in it, and thus I already can like engage her, and yeah, I just feel them like a good role model, a teacher. Like, you know, it's just like such a good feeling when I can do that with her. And it's also what I love right now when I set up this home gym here. We take the weights.
Go out into the garden.
When I can combine fitness, which is my big passion, and then my family, and then I don't care when the entire training is 1.5 hours long, because we can connect. And sometimes we go there to the slide. My fiance works out here as well, because she likes this setup better than going to the gym. Can be
not like a gym would
not
be
everyone-
open at the moment.
Yeah. But not everyone likes this gym setup. And we have privacy. We can work out as a family. Basically, we can have a good time. We can mess around in between. So we have fun. We get do something for our fitness, and it's good quality family time. So I think it's just great.
And it gives you the opportunity to get longer workouts in here and there.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, that's super cool. And how then, for example, when you say you do those circuits, how do they look like? So do you follow a split routine or a full body workout routine mostly?
I split it up, definitely.
So then you would do like push pull on one day, and you switch between those two exercises.
When I came here to Switzerland, I just had 2 kettlebells. So they're just upper and lower, because also with kettlebells, like the exercise is kind of limited. So they're just upper lower. Then like next day maybe Metcon or something for the abs, 10 minutes, just short. Then again upper lower. Right now I'm doing push pull leg. 1 day of rest. Upper, lower, rest. So 5 trainings a week. That's what I'm aiming for. And yeah, that's the current split. Check it out. I also recorded it.
Definitely.
YouTube.
I mean, I'll link the stuff below, and in the end of the podcast, we can definitely also.
It's actually it's nothing special. It's straightforward. It's traditional push pull leg split.
Okay.
And yeah, it doesn't take me too long. 45 minutes, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Yeah. And for your clients, I mean, obviously, not all of them train 5 times a week. Some do 2 times, some probably maybe more than 5, who knows. But in generally, the workouts you give them, is it very similar to what you're doing, or do you adjust it a lot onto their goals?
No, I have some people who do this exact split I'm doing, but not everyone has the same equipment. Not everyone has the same fitness level. Not everyone wants to actually gain muscle. So it's very, very different. Context matter tremendously, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So what I ask every client, because you mentioned some train maybe 2 times only, what I ask for is 3 times or 30 minutes. That's the minimum. If someone's not willing to do that, I'm saying, sorry, you might be at the wrong address here.
Okay.
Because although it's maybe possible to lose weight, we know it's possible to lose weight without working out, right?
Yeah.
But I want to encourage people to get active, to live a healthy lifestyle. So I'm telling them 3 times, 30 minutes should be doable. And I don't care whether you have 3 businesses and a family, it's doable. Because
you prove it.
I know.
Yeah. And I think that makes sense, because it's just like, this is your minimum that you can guarantee that what you do works.
Yeah.
So if it's less, then you're like, you might be paying me money for something that you're not getting value of. But if you're doing those 3 times 30 minutes and you're taking care of the nutrition, like, you can guarantee that it's going to work, right?
And the other thing is, if someone's not willing to take this time aside, 3 times 30 minutes, so that's 1.5 hours per week, chances are he's also not taking the meal plan seriously, right? Because
probably.
Maybe you also need to take 5 minutes to prepare your food, or like make groceries. And yeah, that also takes time, even though like preparing food could be 5 minutes, no longer, right? But you need to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to put in, or to take this time aside, then don't do it with me.
Do you help people with meals? Like, because I think you might get a lot of clients as well. They don't know how to cook, or they don't know like how to prepare the healthy foods and what kind of meals are possible, especially in like they're like, I've only 5 to 10 minutes to prepare food. What should I eat? I cannot go out and cook like salmon and fresh veggies.
I don't know how to cook. Let's be honest, but I mean, it's easy. I'm not a chef. I couldn't cook you like a super fancy meal, but everyone knows how to like open like chicken breast and the vegetable and put it in the pan and heat it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy nowadays. You can find ready to go like rice. You know, Uncle Ben's is called here, I think.
Yeah.
Just like open it, heat it up, good to go.
Add some chicken.
Else, yeah, there's like even I have if you open the freezer here, there's so many packs of vegetable. Frozen ones, you can simply open, it's all cut already, so I don't even need to cut everything.
Okay.
In 5 minutes you have a meal, whether it's a fat loss meal or a bulking meal. It's so easy.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I know some people struggle with it. So.
Of course.
So like, do you give them like those meal ideas and?
So yeah, for some, I have actually a recipe book that inspires people to do some things out of there. But I'm all for like keep it simple. So like, yeah, I literally did another YouTube where I prepare a meal, and I mean the recording took obviously so much longer than actually preparing it. I wanted to explain it, so it ended up being 20 minutes or so, but the meal itself is done in 5 minutes. And I just, telling you the same. I cannot cook either. I don't know, like other things, but it's so basic. You don't need any skills, and no, for real, you don't need any skills to prepare those foods.
So it's
everyone
like,
can do that.
It's like an excuse when people say that.
It's an excuse. I literally can ask my daughter, who was 2.5 years old. She can put like something in the pan and put some salt on. It's like so easy.
Yeah, definitely. And then one thing you also touched on that I think is, especially for your clientele, but also for many other people, a huge deciding factor is recovery and sleep. I think many people don't sleep enough, and if you have a little one, then it's almost impossible to sleep enough. So do you have some tips there? How do you personally deal with it, that you still get the recovery that you need? And what would you suggest people that struggle with it doing?
Yeah. So, let's face it, sometimes I don't get enough recovery. It's just truth, I think, and especially the first few weeks when you have your baby, you don't get a lot of sleep in, and some days it just sucks so much because you're tired, you don't want to work. I remember I was like, should do some work for the agency at the computer, obviously. I just wanted to sleep, and I needed energy after energy to just like keep awake, because it's like it's so crazy. And during the time, I mean, we already know as athletes or as like sport enthusiasts that it's so important to be recovered. And then not even like the regular functions, like walking is so demanding because you're sleepy, right? In army, we face the same thing, right?
We would fall asleep every 3 minutes. It's like 5 minutes break, and then we sleep 5 minutes, right?
Sleep deprivation is brutal, so brutal. And I mean, there's just use common sense. I mean, for some that means go to bed earlier. If you watch Netflix until late night, and in the morning your daughter or your baby wakes you up, maybe it's your fault. Then go a bit earlier to bed. I mean, there's no pill that. I mean, some people are just blessed. They use 4 hours of sleep, and I'm super jealous of them because they literally don't need more sleep. But me, when I get like 4 hours of sleep, I get grumpy and irritated. I don't function somehow, right? So in terms of recovery, I mean, diet is one thing. You need to make sure your diet is right, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference on your energy level throughout the day. But other than that, I don't do anything special. to and the other hand is most clients. So there's two things. When do you mean on the recovery from the workouts or just in general?
It's just in general,
because,
right?
Yeah, because I just want to say most people, maybe you know my story, was like heavily overtrained.
Yeah.
So I worked out every single day, and at some point my body didn't recover, right? Because
I think if you're not an enthusiast, if you never did that, right?
Yeah, like you break your muscle all the time. You don't let them recover. At some point, you just like you cannot do anything. It feels like probably like Corona or something.
Yeah.
It must feel like that. Just like you cannot get out of bed. You don't want to do anything because your body tells you need a freaking break. And I remember when I had this, I just like, some more caffeine and ready to go, right? Yeah. So yeah, certainly listen to your body, include rest days. And I think what is super important is when you know you have like big projects, when you know you have, you move from Brazil to Switzerland, like I did, something like that. Maybe it's time to just reduce the workout, let's say from 5 times to 3 times. Because you know you will have a lot of meetings, a lot of things to organize, the move by itself, travel. Just reduce it and be aware of that you now have like other priorities that is more important probably. So yeah, you just need to be okay with that. So, okay, now for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to work out 3 times a week. I do full body, and then I can scale it up to 5 times again when I'm ready. And I know it's very tricky, and especially if you're a fitness enthusiast as we are, we want to work out all the time, and if we skip a workout, then shit, it's like all for nothing.
I feel like I can't sleep at night when I haven't worked out. I'm like,
right? It
was a shit day. I didn't train.
It's very difficult, but yeah. On the other hand, it's very important that you still do something, right? You could other people who are maybe not so much into fitness, they would. I have now the move, so I'm not working out at all, which is on the other side, right? So it was so super important that you stay consistent, and even though it's done 2 times, I'm okay with like if they do 2 times when it's super stressful, and then we scale it up to 3 or 4 times. That's okay. Other than that, I mean, I ask my clients whether they have how much sleep they get, and a simple reminder when I say 4 hours on average, a simple reminder that say, look, you know how important it is. Maybe you want to increase it to 5, or what exactly is going on. There's a low, and that they think about it. And sometimes it's silly because they go out because of that. They don't get enough sleep. Is it really worth it? For me, not. But
for them, maybe.
It's their life. Yeah, if it's worth it, then it's okay. But I think there's like simple things you can do in order to get enough sleep in.
I mean, what I hear is for you, it's mostly about prioritizing it, right?
Yeah.
So you need to just like prioritize it higher than Netflix, and then you're...
I mean, I also know I could work until 11, 12 p.m. without a problem because I have the work ethic. But I also know at some point my concentration and my focus will decline. I will not be able to do my stuff as good as I wanted. So I rather say, okay, 7 p.m. now, family time. Have something else on my mind. I can enjoy time with them. Then I go to sleep at, let's say, 10:30, and next time I'm fresh again and ready to go. So I nowadays rather work a little bit, or this is actually also my goal. I work a little bit less, but use this time
more efficiently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's the same way I see it with working out. I do rather a little bit less, but I go hard, right?
Yeah. Do you have a workout plan right now also, like you have everything structured, you know, like today I'm going to do this, and then next week I'm going to do it again, and I overload it so you can so just like, I mean, your clients, you obviously give a workout plan and they know exactly what they do in the gym. Do you do that for yourself, or are you more like today?
No, absolutely, because I cannot expect something from my client I do not do myself. It's like hypocrite, right? Like this is the same way. I'm telling my clients to walk 10,000 steps a day. For me, it's most important that I do this as well, but I cannot tell them to do something I don't even do myself. So definitely, I have my diet template. I get my daily steps in. I drink the 3 liters. Everything I tell them, because it's really practice what you preach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the
otherwise-
workouts, it depends on the goal, right?
Yeah,
If your goal is just
obviously.
to have fun in the gym and you have the knowledge that you can be like, I mean, that's often how I train. I know it's like, I do back and, let's say I do back and legs, for example. And then, but the exact exercise that I'm going to do, I'm deciding at the gym.
Freestyle,
a little bit freestyle, right?
Yeah.
But if your goal is to really build muscle, obviously you need to have the progressive overload and everything like those concepts in place. So you need the workout plan. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, it's a good question actually. I have a workout program, that's correct. I have to admit I don't follow it 100% all the time, but there's not the fun aspect, more like when I realize my body doesn't function that well, meaning maybe recovery or sleep was not that good, or there's days I don't feel great. We all have those days,
I mean,
right?
of course. Definitely.
So I still do the workout, but with less intensity, and then I go, I adjust the workout, so I don't do like a heavy compound lift that day, obviously.
To make it more of a deload day.
If I have 2 leg days, one day at least I want to go heavy on the squats, and then the other day it would be some, I don't know, Bulgarian split squats, something easy, very lightweight. So I can say afterwards, I've done it, you can make the tick, but was obviously not the best workout.
Yeah. But you really you program your workout, you have like a 6-week cycle and you try to follow it as much as possible.
The thing is, if I don't, then I will probably do too much.
Okay.
Like historically, I have this history of overtraining, and I know if I don't have like a structure, I will just do way too much probably.
Yeah.
Like if you would put me in a gym and say now you have 3 hours to work out, I would just do everything. Like, you know, I couldn't stop probably because it's still
it's a playground.
My passion is and I just like actually the act of working out, the process also. So I might do way too much, and so this time if I have a plan, I know what is the right dose for me, and this is why I have it mainly.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense, and I think for reaching specific workout goals, like you need to have a plan. There's a reason that every athlete has a plan, right?
Absolutely.
So, one last question that I was coming up with in the discussion before is, you never skip a workout entirely if you didn't sleep. So let's say you had a night you just slept 3 hours. You still hit the gym and move, or do you say like, no, with that little sleep, the best for my body is to actually rest?
It happened. So in the beginning, I would push through. I would literally push through, take a pre-workout and push through the workout, even though it would feel like crap. Sometimes it even turned out to be a decent workout because
you had enough pre-workout,
maybe, or just the fact I made it there. I did something and I feel okay afterwards. Obviously, it never will be one of the best workout ever.
Obviously, never.
But when I really feel like I can sit down and my eyes close, then I know I rather don't go. Now it's a bit trickier, obviously, because I have the gym right here, so it takes me 2 minutes to go here. When I would have to drive to a gym, I would think twice, will I really go or not? Now I feel almost there is this risk of pushing through again, right? But yeah, I think it's experience, and maybe I'm a bit wiser. So yeah, I know when to take it easy and just like say, okay, not today, maybe not the best idea to work out.
But then, I mean, your advice to yourself would be like, dude, I didn't sleep, I feel like shit, I should not work out, but you struggle like with going through with actually.
For me personally, it would be listen to your body and take a day off when your body needs it. But at the same time,
don't use it as an excuse.
It's not the same advice I tell anyone, because most of the people have the opposite problem. They're feeling, oh, I'm not feeling 100%. Maybe I skip today. for like, I don't know.
They're like, I only slept 7.5 hours instead of 8.
This is how it works, right?
That workout's gonna be wasted.
No, when I skip it, it's literally like, I know my brain fog and all body aches and whatnot. But for the majority of people, it's
better to push through.
Yeah, push through.
Because more often than not,
especially when you let's say 2-3 workouts per week, and now we skip one, we're at 2, which is like 1/3 less, right? What you could do is just
move it to the next day, right?
The next day. This is a good option, actually. Yeah. I'm okay with that. This I actually allow my clients to do. So, I mean, it could be when you enjoy the weather right now, you go on a hike or on skis, and then you move the workout to the next day and think, okay, great job, because you went out, you did get your steps in, you went on skis, which is also sports. Love that. The workout next day, absolutely no problem. But the other thing is then just think, I skip it because, I don't know, went to bed late, had to watch the last episode of whatever.
Game of Thrones or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so definitely makes more sense to like ensure that you get enough work in, and if you only work out 3 times a week, then recovery from workouts should not be your problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we've covered a lot and was very informative. It was a lot of fun, man. Had a lot of good laughs. Good time. If people want to find more about your content, watch all the YouTube videos, or if they need a coach, where can they find you?
So I am trying to be everywhere on the platforms right now, on Instagram and on Facebook. Gym Performance on YouTube. Also, just enter Gym Performance, you will find me. I am also experimenting with TikTok. I'm not a TikTok star yet, but also there.
You do dances?
Gym Performance. I think I have one dance. I feel super weird just pointing at these text boxes. But I think the dance one did actually quite well. And then gymperformance.ch, my website. So also LinkedIn on my personal name, Martin Blättler. Yeah, and if you want to get more information, just hit me up on social media. I will get in contact.
Awesome. And one last thing that I ask almost any guest, that's a little bit off topic, I guess, but do you read? What are books that you would recommend listeners to read?
So I am huge, I think like you, on self-improvement. And I have like all my books. I don't read like every day like I probably should, but I have a few books that made an impact on my life that I sometimes like to quote. The recent one is, for example, the How to Not Give a Fuck, I think. Do you know this one? It's a relatively new one. This I really enjoyed. Mastery is another one. I recommend them to clients when they ask me, obviously, but I don't tell them. You need to read it. So the books I read are almost always in the self-improvement area. Because I'm huge in it. Like you, all the podcasts.
Yeah. So you're more a podcast listener.
Yeah, all the time. If I go out and go for walks, I'm in the car, always a podcast on.
I always feel like if I'm driving a car and I'm listening to music, I'm wasting time, you know?
It's a bit like that, right?
It's like, it's a wasted car ride. Could have been so productive.
If you can go from A to B and learn something at the same time, then that's great. I also had a huge impact, something like Warrior Within. I can't remember the book. I read it. It's more about,
Warrior's Mind?
Yeah, it's like about army guy, I think that.
From
I don't remember the name.
Willock, like the.
This is also a good one. It's also a good one. There's take ownership.
That's the name.
Ownership, something like that. It's also fantastic. Yeah, but I can.
There's a lot. We have 4 books already. That's enough, I think. So thank you so much, Martin. It was a lot of fun, good times, and yeah, thank you so much for having you on.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for interviewing me. Had fun.
See you next time, guys. Thank you.